From Cleveland's most accurate weather team, this is 19 First Alert Plus. Sponsored by the man that makes them pay, Tim Misney.
And good morning, I'm Dan DeRosa with 19 News Now. Today is a First Alert weather day. That's because we have the potential for some severe weather this afternoon when we take a live look into downtown Cleveland. Already 74 degrees, and we know that thermometer is going to be inching up hour by hour. We're going to bring in 19 First Alert meteorologist Kelly Doback. Kelly, today is one of those hot summer days that could lead to some of these potentially severe weather. So really need to be on top of things today for our viewers.
Right. We've got all the ingredients there, Dan, for severe storms to fire up later today. We've got a couple things I want to break down here because it's one of those days where we are really keeping a close eye on this system as it moves in from the north and the west here, because depending on its movement, depending on the clouds that pop up ahead of it, is all going to be dependent on how many storms we see that are strong to severe. So let's start with that. Again, we've got that threat of severe weather mainly around dinner time through the early overnight hours tonight. And all modes of severe weather are possible. I'll show you the risk map, the severe tracker here in a moment, but this system is very similar to the setup that we had last week. It's just a little bit further north, and that's what will make the difference in who sees a stronger storm. So breaking down the timeline again, this morning through the early afternoon hours, we are watching that line like a hawk, the whole weather team, keeping an eye on it, watching for clouds developing ahead of it, showers developing ahead of it that could make things stable. Thunderstorms need instability. They like that heat, they like that humidity, and we've got a lot of it, and this storm has a lot of it to tap into. But if we start seeing clouds fire up, showers firing up ahead of time, that'll help limit the storms from becoming severe. Now, we've got all those ingredients in place. They all have to mix together to create stronger storms. So after 5 o'clock, that's when that line will move in, and then through midnight, we'll be watching the severe threat end, but we're also going to keep the chance for showers overnight into early Thursday morning. So here's that severe tracker I was telling you about here. So we've got the severe tracker. It gives you a level 1 to 5 risk of severe weather, with level 5 being, this is a tornado outbreak really bad. We've got a level 3 out of 5, including portions of Erie County out towards Sandusky and west towards Toledo. Level 3 out of 5 means severe weather is likely in that area. And notice the orange kind of pushes a little bit further north on the map here. That's where we have the highest severe ingredients. A lot of fuel, a lot of storm energy there. Notice though, Cleveland and areas along the 71 corridor, we're in that level 2 out of 5. So severe weather is still possible here. And again, damaging wind gusts along this line, hail, brief tornado. We can't rule out a brief spin up with the type of storm system that we are seeing develop out to the west right now. And it's going to continue to weaken here as we head into east and then a little bit further later in the afternoon. Now, before I show you future view, I just kind of want to show you what we're looking at right now, kind of do like a now casting real analysis here of this storm that we're looking at. So this is, as soon as it pops up, First Alert Doppler network, a wide view showing us this system that's coming in. So that line of storms is slowly but surely starting to make its way here into portions of Illinois. You can see the bowing out here just before it makes its way towards Chicago. That's a good indication of, that's some very strong damaging wind gusts. There's a severe thunderstorm warning there. I also kept all this orange on the map to show you. That is all heat advisory. So look at how these storms are firing up along this line farther south here. This is all that moisture this storm system is tapping into. So that's why we've got the potential here. But you notice these clouds that are developing ahead of the line here. That's what we have to watch for storms to become more stable. So a lot double-edged sword here. We're watching all this heat and humidity fuel the storms, but we're also watching for that potential for the clouds to kind of take over as we head into the afternoon and evening. So here's future view, keeping the temperatures on because it is going to be hot. Most likely we'll hit 90 degrees today if the clouds cooperate, if we have more sunshine. But notice here we're seeing a couple of these little showers pop up at 3 o'clock. This could make things stable. Again, thunderstorms like sunshine. They like heat, humidity, things that make them unstable and strong. So as we continue through the afternoon, notice a lot of the stronger portions of the storm are north. I mentioned that this storm system's a little bit further north trekking than the last one, so that is a real possibility. But as we head into 8, 9 o'clock, you notice that line pushes right through Cuyahoga County all the way down the 77 corridor. So this potentially could produce damaging wind gusts, heavy rain. And I know a lot of people dealt with damage last week. So if you have tree limbs that are loose, if you are working on, repairing flood damage, secure everything down, because even if it's not severe, these are going to be strong storms coming through. It won't take much to see power outages. It won't take much to see areas that did receive damage last week get more damage because things are loose, and flooding, it could also be a concern for areas that already did flood. So that's going to be, the concern through 10, 11 o'clock. That's where the main severe threat is. Now here's the actual front coming in. That'll produce heavy rain overnight into early Thursday morning. So we'll still be watching that threat as well. And that's just the alert day for today, Dan. With these clouds and showers around, this is going to keep temperatures below 90 degrees Thursday, but we've got nothing to prevent 90s and heat on Friday. That's going to be our next alert day because it is going to be hottest day we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, and that'll be an alert day for us. We're going to take 15 seconds and we'll talk more about Friday being an alert day as we head into the weekend. Give us 15 seconds.
I've represented families just like yours for over 4 decades. Listen, if you need me, call me. You know I'll be there for you, and I'll make them pay. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye out for you.
And now it's time to keep an eye on the next 3-4 days as the heat, and we've got alert days on Friday coming up.
Yeah, so today we're watching the storms again, the whole team. We've already been talking. We've got all hands on deck today, so we'll keep you covered. If we do see any severe warnings fire up, the 19 First Alert weather app is a great way to receive those warnings. Make sure you have 2 ways to get warnings because that threat does move in, a little bit later at night when you are heading to bed. So again, tomorrow morning, we'll have showers around that'll keep temperatures still muggy, still warm, but not as hot as they were expected to be because of this system that's moving in later today. Talking about Friday here, the 19 First Alert weather day, we're talking about heat index, what it feels like outside, around 100 plus. I mean, I was looking at the heat index tracker and it was putting 105 heat index values, what it feels like outside in Sandusky. So anything outside, Cedar Point, if you work outside, heat exhaustion is something that can come up so fast, even if you don't have AC and you're dealing with the heat inside, because it isn't going to be cooling off that much overnight. These are all things to keep in mind. And when you're like, oh, it's just hot, why did you issue an alert day? Heat is the #1 severe weather killer, and it's because, things happen so quickly, heat exhaustion happens so fast, and it's something you don't really expect. That is why we issued the alert day, because it'll be the hottest day easily we've seen so far this year. We've only hit 90 once in Cleveland so far this year. Dan, we have the potential to do it again today and then again on Friday.
Yeah, and your advice to people, and especially if you start thinking about dogs and pets that are outside,
Yes.
anything you can do for shade, cool water, if you can bring them inside, that's the best case scenario. Need to be keeping an eye out for our pets. 19 First Alert meteorologist Kelly Dobeck, thank you for checking in.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, take care. As you've heard, this is going to be an active weather day. Our team is on it. We are going to be on it. Any warnings that pop up, we're going to make sure that you are ahead of this. But again, that 19 First Alert weather app is so incredible because when there is a lightning 10 miles from you, 7 miles from you, it's going to alert your phone. You can literally get on that app and watch the radar and watch that storm move through your area. Again, stay on top of this today because we will be staying on top of it and helping you through this. If we have any other breaking news, we're going to bring it to you here on our digital properties. Otherwise, I'll be anchoring our 11 o'clock news on CW43 coming up, as well as our noon news coming up on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a good afternoon.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media at Cleveland 19 News.
to start off here, obviously the reason for our discussion here, LeBron James' son, LeBron James Jr., stable condition after cardiac arrest. Now we've seen, I mean, we've covered a lot of stories with athletes, peak physical condition, cardiac arrest, very noticeably, Damar Hamlin last year. Let's just start with, for people hear cardiac arrest, let's explain what exactly happens there and why this is such a big deal, especially when this happens in someone that's as young as healthy as LeBron James' son.
Sure. Cardiac arrest is essentially the heart has a normal beat or rhythm, and it contracts 60 beats per minute, is usually 60 to 100 is the normal beats